Right now, while you are watching this, there may be an app sitting on your phone silently reading every single text message you receive. Not just spam, not just promotional codes, every bank verification text, every one-time password from your email provider, every two-factor authentication code from your financial accounts. And you probably gave it permission to do exactly that, not on purpose, not knowingly. But you tapped allow on a permission request at some point, maybe months ago, maybe when you were distracted, maybe when you were rushing through an installation screen. And that permission is still there, still active, still running in the background without any indicator that it is doing so. I want to walk you through what this actually means for your financial security and your privacy. And then I want to give you the exact steps to audit your phone right now and take back control before this becomes a problem you cannot undo. Let us start with why SMS is different from every other permission on your phone. 10 years ago, your text messages were mostly conversations, weekend plans, family check-ins, customer service confirmations. Losing access to them would be annoying. It would not be catastrophic. That is not what SMS is anymore. Your SMS inbox has become the security vault for your entire digital life. When your bank is not sure it is you logging in, it sends a code to your phone. When your email account detects a new device, it sends a verification number to your phone. When you reset a password on any service you use, from your healthcare portal to your brokerage account to your streaming subscriptions, the confirmation goes to your phone by text. This means whoever can read your SMS messages can bypass virtually every layer of security protecting your financial accounts. Not by guessing your password, not by hacking a server, simply by reading a message that arrives on a device you are already carrying. Now, let us talk about how the attack actually works, because understanding the mechanics is the thing that makes people take this seriously. A legitimate-looking app, perhaps a utility tool, a calculator, a flashlight app, a second keyboard, a weather app, requests access to your SMS inbox during installation or after an update. You grant it. The app installs a background service that runs continuously, monitoring every message that arrives on your phone. It does this silently. No notification appears. No indicator light activates. There's no visible sign that anything is happening. The background service is looking for a specific pattern, a 6-digit number in a message from a financial institution sender name, a one-time password, a verification code. When it finds one, it copies it and transmits it to a remote server controlled by whoever built the malicious app. They are sitting at that server. They have already tried to log into your bank account from their device. They have your username and password from a data breach or a phishing attempt you may not even remember. The bank asked for a verification code. The malicious app captured that code from your phone and sent it to them in under 3 seconds. Before you even read the message on your screen, the transaction is already in progress. This is not a theoretical attack. Researchers at ThreatFabric identified more than 200 unique banking malware families actively targeting Android SMS permissions in a single year. Campaigns called Flubot, Brada, and Cerberus infected hundreds of thousands of devices across Europe and South America using exactly this method, intercepting banking one-time passwords to drain accounts before victims had any indication something was wrong. There is a second financial threat that gets even less attention because it shows up on your phone bill rather than your bank statement. Some malicious apps with SMS send permission use your phone to text premium rate numbers in the background. These are phone numbers that charge several dollars per text to the sender. The app sends texts to these numbers repeatedly, generating charges on your mobile bill that accumulate quietly for weeks or months before most people notice an unexplained increase in their bill. By the time you investigate, the losses are real, and the app is untraceable back to a responsible party. This type of attack, called toll fraud or premium rate SMS fraud, costs global consumers an estimated $1 billion annually according to mobile industry security organizations. It does not require your banking credentials. It just needs your phone to keep sending texts while you sleep. Now, here is where I need to be precise about something, because the specifics matter enormously for understanding your actual risk level. If you use an iPhone, your risk from this specific attack vector is substantially lower, because iOS architecturally prevents any third-party app from accessing your SMS or iMessage inbox without Apple's direct mediation. No app you download from the App Store can silently read your messages in the background. When Apple's autofill feature suggests a verification code in a text field, that happens through Apple's own system, not through a permission you granted to a third party. This is one of the genuine, meaningful security advantages of iOS over Android for this particular threat. And it is worth acknowledging clearly rather than treating all smartphones as equally vulnerable. If you use Android, the threat is real and active. Read SMS is what Google classifies as a dangerous permission, meaning it requires explicit user approval. But explicit approval is not the same as informed approval. The permission request can be phrased in ways that minimize its apparent significance, and it can be requested after an update to an app you have trusted for years, appearing as a routine permission screen rather than a new capability expansion. Let me give you the exact steps to audit your Android phone right now. Go to Settings. Find the section labeled Apps or App Management or Application Manager depending on your specific Android version and manufacturer. Look for a Permission Manager option, sometimes found under Privacy, sometimes directly under Apps. Open Permission Manager and look for the SMS category. Tap on it and you will see a list of every app on your phone that has been granted any form of SMS permission. Look at that list carefully. For each app, ask yourself one question. Does this app have a genuine functional reason to read my text messages? A messaging app you use for actual conversations? Yes. A two-factor authentication app that manages verification codes? Yes. A banking app that needs to autofill its own verification codes? Potentially, yes. Everything else on that list, utilities, games, lifestyle apps, shopping apps, social media tools, anything that does not have an obvious direct relationship to your SMS messages should have that permission revoked immediately. Tap the app name, select the SMS permission, and choose Deny. If you use an iPhone and want to do the equivalent audit, go to Settings, then Privacy and Security, then scroll through the permission categories. Note that SMS is not a category you will find there, because iOS handles it differently, but this is still a valuable exercise for other permissions. Review which apps have access to your location, your contacts, your microphone, and your camera. Apply the same logic. Does this app have an obvious, necessary reason for this access? If not, revoke it. Now let me address the most important long-term habit change, which is moving your two-factor authentication off SMS entirely. SMS-based two-factor authentication is better than no two-factor authentication. But it is the weakest form of 2FA available to you. It is vulnerable, not just to the app permission attack I described, but also to SIM swap attacks, where a criminal convinces your carrier to transfer your phone number to a device they control, and to interception at the carrier network level. These are not exotic attacks. They are documented, scaled criminal operations with thousands of victims. Authenticator apps eliminate all of these vulnerabilities for a specific reason. An authenticator app generates verification codes using a mathematical algorithm that runs entirely inside the app itself. The algorithm takes a secret key that was set up when you enrolled in 2FA for a service, and it uses it together with the current time to generate a 6-digit code that changes every 30 seconds. This code is never transmitted. It never exists as a text message. It never passes through your carrier network. An app with read SMS permission cannot capture it because there is no SMS to read. A SIM swap cannot intercept it because it never leaves your device. Google Authenticator, Authy, and Microsoft Authenticator all work on this principle and are free to download. The process for switching is the same across most services. Log into the account you want to secure. Go to Security Settings, find two-factor authentication options, choose Authenticator app instead of text message, and scan the QR code the service shows you. Your Authenticator app generates a code right then. You enter it to confirm enrollment, and from that point forward, logging into that account requires opening your Authenticator app and entering the current code rather than waiting for a text. Make this switch for your email account first. Email is the master key to almost everything else. If someone controls your email, they can reset passwords on virtually every other service you use. Protect it with the strongest authentication available. Then do your bank, then your most used financial services. Now let me give you 2 habits that will protect you going forward, not just right now. The first is reviewing permission requests before you grant them every time, not just for SMS. When any app asks for a permission, stop for 5 seconds and ask, does this app need this permission to do what I downloaded it to do? A recipe app asking for microphone access has no obvious functional reason for it. A navigation app asking for contact access is more suspicious than a messaging app making the same request. You do not have to understand every permission request perfectly. You just have to develop the habit of pausing before tapping Allow and choosing Ask next time or Don't allow when you are not certain. The second habit is a permission audit every 3 months. Set a reminder in your calendar. 3 months from today, go back to your permission manager, specifically the SMS section on Android, and review the list again. App updates can quietly add new permission requests that become active permissions when you install the update. An app you trusted 6 months ago and reviewed then may have different permissions today after 3 updates. 3 months is often the window in which malicious or overly aggressive data collection capabilities get added to apps that were clean when you installed them. This audit takes about 5 minutes. It should become as routine as checking your bank statement. The scale of mobile surveillance through app permissions is not small, and it is not slowing down. The economic incentive to collect behavioral data, to build profiles based on your messages, your location, your contacts, and your usage patterns is enormous. And the incentive to capture financial authentication codes is even larger, because the return on a single successful banking credential theft can be immediate and substantial. You did not consent to surveillance when you downloaded an app to track your steps or play a word game. You consented to a permission request you may not have fully read at a moment when you were focused on getting to the actual app, and the permission has been active ever since. The audit takes 5 minutes. The habit of reviewing permission requests before granting them costs 5 seconds per app. The switch to an authenticator app takes about 15 minutes across your most critical accounts. None of this requires technical expertise. None of it requires spending money. It requires awareness and the intention to do it rather than put it off until the problem is one you can no longer fix retroactively. Go check the SMS permissions on your phone right now. Before you watch the next video, before you open the next app, right now.